Uh, alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, my name is Aiza Namira, and for today I will be showing the project for the middle exam for vocabulary building, as it is presented by Aiza Namira, and this is my name. Alright, next page. Part 1, project presentation. Word formation. What's a word formation? Word formation is a process of forming new words from an existing root word. It is also known to be a general process to make sentences and words. It's basically just one of the basic rules and such. Just the way to make sentences and words. Types of ways to form words. To form words, there are two ways to do in general, using prefixes and adding suffixes. Now, for prefixes, is adding one or more alphabets before the stem of the word. Basically, just the front of the word. So, like prequel, or basically just before the word, honestly. The most commonly used to make the word negative, but there are a lot more to the list. To make the word negative, basically just the opposite, like inactive, unavailable, dysfunctioned, disassembled, pretty much anything like that. But we're gonna dwell more than just the negative, so no worries. Prefixes has two types: native and neoclassical. We're gonna start with the native prefixes first. This type of prefixes origins from Germanic core of the English language, primarily from Old English. They are usually used in everyday vocabulary. Like, it is more commonly used, more often seen like in novels, like everyday use. In, maybe sometimes in news, although it more comes off like informal sometimes, but it's more like that. For examples, a after, following after, or behind. For example, aftermath, afterlife, etc. B down, from higher or greater to lower or lesser. Example, download, downright, downbeat, etc. C A verb, predicative, adjective with progressive aspect. Example, afloat, a tremble, and etc. It is usually different than article because this is like fused into one word, when article is just like separated. D is en, en, or em, or m. Oops. To get into, to put into, or to make into. Example, empower, enmesh, enmesh, I do not know, etc. E, un, or un, not against, opposite of. Example, unequal, unnecessary, undesirable, or unhappy, and etc. It can also mean as a reverse action, deprive of a release form. Example, undo, untie, unexpected, unlock, etc. B, neoclassical prefix. Unlike native, this kind of prefix came from combining forms of Neo-Latin elements that are borrowed from ancient Greek and Latin. It's usually used in academic, scientific, and technical vocabulary. For example, A, amphi, around, to, both, or on both side. Example, amphibian, amphiester, etc. Arc, ruling, dominating, most extreme, pejorative. Example, archangel, arcane, conservative, etc. Hetero, different. Heterochromia, heterogeneous, heterotroph, etc. Cryo, means ice, etc. Uh, Example, cryogenics, cryobanks, etc. Poly, it means many. Example, polygon, polyhedron, polygamy, etc. B. Adding suffixes. Instead of adding alphabets or syllables after the stem of the word, suffixes puts its syllables at the end of the word. When prefixes uses the start of the word, suffixes adds at the end of it. Basically just adding things up. The word, sorry. There are two kinds of suffixes. A. Inflectional suffixes. Inflectional changes the grammatically prefix properties of a word within its syntactic category. In several languages, this is realized by an inflectional suffix, also known as dissonance. An example, I was hoping the cloth wouldn't fade, but it has faded quite a bit. The suffix d inflects the root word fade to indicate past participle. Inflection suffixes don't change the word class of the word after the inflection. So for what I caught is basically inflectional suffixes does not change the part of the speech like verbs, nouns, adjectives, but it can change the word to be plural or to a different kind of tenses. For example, like cat. Cat is a singular noun, and you can turn it to cats by adding s. But the suffix s, it's a plural noun. That counts as a inflectional suffixes. The part is the same, but it just changed the plural basically. So another example is like this, like fade. Fade into faded by adding and inflectional suffixes. D. It changes into from a simple present into a past participle, basically. So it just changes the tense, but still as a verb. All right, next. Inflectional suffixes in modern English include A. Verbs. S. Third person singular present indicative active. Example, talks, eats, studies, etc. Ed. Past tense and past participle. I'm sorry. Example, walked, talked, jumped, etc. Sorry. Past tense, week, irregular. T, I meant. Example, spent, sent, built, bent, etc. Ing. Present participle. A verb or adjective forms a continuous tense and modifies a noun to be an adjective. And guarantee verb ing, but a noun can be a subject, object, or complement of the sentence, like sleeping, exciting, sweeping, etc. Past en, and past participle, irregular. Example, broken, driven, forgotten, etc. B. Noun. S. Plural number. Example, hats, junks, cups, etc. En. Plural number, irregular. Example, children, brethren, sistren, etc. C. Adjectives and adverbs. Comparative degree. For example, larger, better, smaller, etc. Est. Superlative degree. For example, largest, smallest, greatest, etc. Now we're moving to B. Derivation. Derivation of suffixes can be divided into two categories: class-changing derivation and class-maintaining derivation. In English, they include these suffixes. For example, Like suffixes "ly", conversions into adjective to adverbs, but sometimes can be nouns to adjectives. For example, quickly, happily, terribly, etc. Oh, um, I'm sorry. Um, Next one is al or well. Nouns is into adjectives: national, cultural, habitual, sensual, etc. Minus or ik or ikel. Ikel. Nouns to adjectives: logical, mythical, heroic, historic, etc. And basically, derivational suffixes are almost different with inflectional. Almost. It changes the class of the word, like noun to adjective. Like, for example, nation. Nation is a noun, and we added "al" and turns noun into an adjective, right? Into national. Uh, just by adding alphabets at the end of it, just nation into national into adjectives. It also it maintains the class word as well, but the meaning is derived from the original word, like child into with the suffixes hood. Like child is a noun, but suffixes hood. A childhood is a noun. A king, with which is a noun, and a suffix dom. Combine that together, we have a kingdom. A kingdom, a noun, basically. Now, parts of speech. Parts of speech, aka also known as word class, is a group categories of words in order to form a sentence. I'm sorry, I'm really sweaty. It is the main component in order to make a comprehensible sentence. Now, types of word class. There are a total of 9 parts of speech. A. Noun. B. Pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, interjection, article, and auxiliary. Let's get to it. A. Noun. Names a person, place, or things, like common noun. Example: house, London, police officer, etc. It's basically just the main point of the sentence, like the main focus of it. So it's called a noun. Now, a pronoun takes the place of after. Of, what? I meant to say after a noun, I think. It's just a wrong spelling. For example, I, you, they, we, he, she, it, them, ours, who, etc. I'm sorry. Verb identifies action or state of being. A word can use to describe an action, state, or occurrence, and forming the main part of the predicate of the sentence. Example: sing, dance, believe, be, or want, etc. D. Adjective modifies a noun, a word that modifies or describes a noun or pronoun, providing more information about its qualities, quantity, or identity. For example, lazy, beautiful, funny, hot, etc. Like this, for example, it was a horrible movie. So this horrible word describes about the movie. An adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or other adverb. Here are the common types of adverbs: how, how or manner, quickly, slowly, carefully, etc. When, the adverb of when, I mean time. Now, then, today, soon, etc. Adverb of place. here, there, inside, outside, etc. Adverb of degree, very, extremely, to, etc. Last one is adverb of frequency, always, never, often, seldom, etc. Preposition. Preposition shows a relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in a sentence, most commonly in indicating location, time, or direction. Example of preposition, like a location. The cat is sleeping under the table. This is a prepositional phrase. The preposition is the under. Now, preposition of time. The meeting is scheduled for 2 p.m. A prepositional phrase. Goodness. Now, direction. She walked towards the building. Relationship. They talked about the subject. Interjection. A word or short phrase that expresses sudden, strong emotion or reaction. For example, ah, ah, whoops, ouch, wow, ugh, shh, and etc. Age, article, a word used before a noun to indicate whether the noun is a specific or general. For example, a dot dot dot, an or an dot dot dot, the dot dot dot, and etc. Auxiliary, pretty much a connector or helper for subject and verb. For example, is, are, am, do, does, been, was, were, etc. Now, analyze and determine. The dog chased the ball on the grass. The dog is basically just a subject. Now, into further analyze, and the is an article. The dog is a noun. Chased is a verb in past participle. Chased. The ball, the is an article, and ball is a noun. Pretty cool. Pretty much the same. On the grass, and on is preposition. The is an article, and grass is a noun. Pretty much this is just a prepositional phrase in short. I suppose that's for part one, I believe, about the project presentation. Now we're moving to part two, which is case studies. This is about 32 slides, so bear with me, please. First case study. You're a language consultant working for an international company that needs to create product labels and marketing slogans in English. The team is confused about how to form and use compound nouns and compound adjective correctly. For example, coffee table, high-speed train, and blue-eyed boy. Task 1. Identify 10 examples of compound nouns and 5 examples of compound adjective from real text. Example, news articles, advertisement, product packaging, and show the evidence is a must. Answers. This is the source that I basically just grabbed to. It's pretty much just a headline of a news, like in internet. It's about climate changes and stuff. Now, case, compound nouns. Moving to the 10 first. Clean energy technologies, solar panels, electric vehicles. As you can see, this is the proof of it. I've marked it as well. Federal support renewable energy. Just like that. Global warming, United States, I missed the N. Greenhouses. Be quiet. Okay. Climate policy, climate summit. And this is the, goodness, there's 2 paragraphs. Okay. Compound adjectives. Offset is partially offset. Wildfire is right over here. Overall off track. here and right here. Planet warming, and it's over here. Task 2. Classify the types of compounding. Example, noun plus noun, adjective noun plus noun, adverb plus adjective. First, clean energy technologies. Adjective, noun plus noun plus noun. Solar panel, noun plus noun. Electric vehicle, noun plus noun. Federal support, noun plus noun. Renewable energy, adjective, renewable plus noun, energy. Global warming, noun plus verb, warming. United States, adjective, I missed the C, plural noun or verb. States can be a verb, so like saying like that, like states. Greenhouse, adjective plus noun. Climate policies, noun plus plural noun. And climate summit, noun plus noun. Offset, adjective plus verb or noun. Wildfire, adjective plus noun. Overall, preposition plus adjective. Off track, adjective plus noun. Planet warming, noun plus verb. I have a lot of misspellings here. I was tired when I made this. Task 3. Explain how the meaning of each compound differs from the meaning of its individual words. Clean energy technologies. Clean means free from filth. Energy, a source for power. Technologies, a machinery or, and plural, machineries or equipments. Meaning, technology that produces energy without polluting the environment. Clean energy. Solar panel. Solar means the sun. Panel means a board. Meaning a board or flat surface that absorbs the sunlight. Electric vehicle. Electric produces electricity. Vehicle, transportation. Meaning a transportation that requires electricity as fuel. I thought I misspelled something. I didn't. Okay. Federal support. Federal, a government system. Support to hold up something from failing. Meaning assistance that came from the national government. Renewable energy. Renewable, able to be renewed. Energy, resource for power. Meaning a resource of power that uses natural resources instead, like wind, sun, water, etc. Give me a moment. Global warming. Global is whole world. Global. Warming, increase of temperature. And the meaning is the ongoing event on the Earth, rising temperature primarily from human activities, usually called as climate change. United States. United is gathered. States is plural of state. I did not mean to add s. Or places. Or place. Or maybe sometimes just speech. Like I stated that moving on. Meaning the name of a specific country of the USA. Greenhouse. Green the color green, of course. House, a place to live in, meaning a building specifically for growing plants. Okay. Climate policies. Climate, whatever. Weather. Policies is conditionals, meaning sets of principles regarding the effects of climate change. Climate summit. Climate is weather, summit is the peak of the highest point, like a mountain. The mountain summit, meaning an international meeting negotiating actions related to climate change. My dad almost walked in. I apologize. Offset, out of place. Out means off. Set is a structure, like meaning counterbalance one effect with an equal and opposite effect. Wildfire. Wild is untamed. Fire is combustion. Combustion that creates light and heat. Meaning is a large volume of fire that spreads quickly. Overall, over is above. All is like whole, entirety. Meaning is taking everything into account. Off track, off, out of place. Track is a place. A path, a path. Meaning away from the planned path, not progressing as planned. 50. Planet warming. Planet is an object in large mass orbiting around a star, like Earth orbiting around the sun. Warming increased means increased in temperature. It means basically anything that causes the Earth to heat up. Task 4. Analyze how compound forms affect tone, style, or clarity in communication. Compounds can quickly establish a metaphorical tone. A word like wildfire or off track carries a dramatic, a cautionary tone, unlike its individual or more literal components. Besides that, they function as a single lexical unit, allowing allowing complex concepts to be communicated in fewer words. This saves space and cognitive effort for the reader, enhancing comprehension. Second case study. You are preparing English training materials for new employees. In an international company, many idioms appear in business conversation, but employees find them confusing. Task 1. Select 5 English idioms commonly used in professional or daily settings. Example, hit the nail on the head, under the weather, cut corners. Show evidence is a must. Here is my source. Next one. Wear my heart upon my sleeve. This is the origin. There's a method in my madness. Dead as a doornail. Wild goose chase. Break the ice. Task 2. Explain the literal and figurative meaning of each idiom. Idiom? I do not know. Wear my heart upon my sleeve to reveal true emotions and be honest about thoughts and feelings. There's method in my madness. It's a good reason for a person's action, even though it's not obvious what they are at first, and they may appear to be behaving in a strange way. Dead as a doornail. Something that is definitely dead and has no chance of revival. This idiom doesn't always refer to something or somebody which has already died, but also metaphorically too. Wild goose chase, a fruitless activity, which will ultimately serves no purpose and usually also takes a significant amount of time to carry out. Break the ice, to do or say something to relieve the tension or awkwardness in social situation. 3. Identify the situation or context in which these idioms are properly used. Wear my heart upon my sleeve. Used to openly display their emotions. There's a method in my madness. When a person acts in a certain unusual way, but has a strategic ulterior motives. Dead as a doornail. Finality of a total failure. Wild goose chase. A long chase, difficult to search, that leads to nothing valuable as a result. Basically just meaningless with so much effort. Break the ice, to relieve the tension of awkwardness in a social situation. Task 4. Analyze how the idiomatic expression make communication more expressive or culturally rich. Idioms often carry a stronger emotional tone than their literal equivalents. The use of an idiom also signals a bond between the speaker and listener based on a shared cultural context. Third, case study. You're designing a course on a natural English expressions for foreign learners. The focus is on binomial, binomial, bi- we go from binomial or binomial. Binomial expressions such as black and white, give and take, or pros and cons. Find 5 binomial expressions from English media, songs, movies, news, or conversations. Show the evidence is a must. This is where I get it. The source. Again and again, all in all or nothing, bit by bit, back and forth. This is the 5. Task 2. Explain the structure. Example, noun plus noun, verb plus verb, adjective plus adjective, and identify whether they use an or other connectors. Again and again, adverb with the connector of and plus adverb. All in all, quantifier, basically just determiner, I think. It's part of I think it's part of article. If I believe it right. That's where I learned from googling it up. It's like, okay, preposition plus quantifier. All or nothing. Quantifier with the connector or quantifier noun. On its position is the connector is in, basically preposition. Back and forth. Adverb plus with a connector and adverb. Bit by bit. Noun, preposition, by, and noun. Task 3. Analyze the semantic relationship between the two words. Example, contrast, complement, or rhyme. Again and again. Basically, repetition, identity. All in all, summary or totality. All or nothing. Polar opposition or complementary antonyms. Back and forth. Directional antinomy or motion. Bit by bit. Incremental progression. Task 4. Provide sentences using each binomial and explain its meaning in context. Again and again. I've told him again and again that he should start looking for a new job. The subject, I, have repeatedly told the same advice again and again to another subject, him. All or nothing. You have to be fully committed if you want to be a professional sports player. It's all or nothing. One must be very committed and willing to work hard through in order to reach something or a goal, or not at all, not doing it at all. I forgot to change it to C, D, and E. It's fine. Back and forth. He kept walking back and forth in his office because he was waiting for an important phone call and couldn't sit still. Moving come and back, forward and back, and sometimes just many places and back again. Usually happens in frantic motions. It's like in a rush, for example. All in all, he really enjoyed working abroad for a few years. A summary or conclusion after considering every aspect of a situation. Bit by bit, I was able to improve my German language skills, a progressive stages of something. And finally, the 4th case study. As part of a literature analysis project, you are studying how writers use similes to create vivid imagery and emotional effect in their works. Show evidence is a must. Task 1. Choose 5 similes from poems, novels, or advertisement. Example, as brave as a lion, as light as a feather. Source is these. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose from A Red, Red Rose by Robert Burns. I wondered, I wondered, what I wonder, I wandered lonely as a cloud from Daffodils by William Wordsworth. Dudley looked like a pig in a wig from the Harry Potter novel series by J.K. Rowling. And it was like knocking 4 times on the door of unhappiness. The Stranger by Albert Camus, or Camus. It's like my head has split open from the heat. The Stranger, as again, The Stranger by Albert Camus. Task 2. Identify the two elements being compared and the connector word, usually alike or as. All my love's like a red, red rose. My love or my love, a person or a feeling. Like as a connector, a red, red rose. Beauty or fragrance. I wandered like a lowly as a cloud. I is a first person perspective, like wandering. I think is a connector. Eza is a connector, a cloud, an object floating in solitude. Dudley looked like a pig in a wig. From the Harry Potter novel series, J.K. Rowling. Dudley is a subject, looked like a connector, a pig in a wig. Something absurd in appearance, like comically just unpleasant to see. It's funny, but it's unpleasant. And it was like knocking 4 times on the door of unhappiness. It referred as an action, was like a connector, knocking 4 times on the door of unhappiness, emphasized the finality and emotional weight of his action, of the protagonist's action. Ugh. It's like my head has split open from the heat. It referring to the heat, like as a connector, my head has split open. Uh, a feeling of extreme discomfort, just so uncomfortable just from the heat. It just feels like your head just split open, just like watermelon or something. Task 3. Explain the effects or imagery created by each simile in its context. All my love's like a red, red rose. Deep, passionate, and vibrant beauty. It's like, it's so like romantic and, just full of love. I wandered lonely as a cloud, solitude and detachment. Dudley looked like a pig in a wig, ridiculous and comically unpleasant. Just like I said, funny, but it's a little weird. And it was like knocking 4 times on the door of unhappiness, awaiting fatalism. And it's like my head is split open from the heat, an intense sensory pressure that leads to severe discomfort, physically. They can feel it physically. Task 4. Discuss how the similes helps readers visualize or emotionally connect with the text. Similes are usually used to emphasize the intensity of certain scenes, giving emotional impact on and connection to the reader. That's it. That's the 32 slides that we have gone through. I suppose I will link down a Google Drive about these two PDFs slides in the description. And I suppose that is all from me. I apologize for the mistakes that I've made, like this misspelling, the way I presented. It takes a while to make this, honestly. That is all from me. I'm Aiza Namira, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.